Chosen one, God is preparing something extraordinary for you, and it's already moving in your direction. This isn't just a good day. This is a defining moment in your life. The heavens are aligning, and the divine vaults are unlocking in your favor. There's an unexpected check coming that will not only surprise you, it will confirm everything you've quietly believed in your heart. Every quiet prayer, every tear-stained night, every moment you chose faith over fear has built this blessing. You didn't see it coming, but it has your name written on it. The signature on this check is divine, and it has been authorized by grace, by favor, and by a decision made in heaven on your behalf. Watch this video until the end and let your heart be open. And drop your warmest wishes in the comments and write 99. Let this be the day your wishes align with the energy of the universe and activate a wave of breakthroughs. Just one check can shift your whole season. Just one act of divine provision can bring relief, joy, and validation that you are truly favored. You're not chasing the blessing, it's chasing you now. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. You have entered a supernatural cycle. One where things happen not by labor, not by logic, but by divine orchestration. Doors you didn't knock on are opening. Emails you didn't expect are arriving. Calls you weren't looking for are coming. You're in the middle of a divine alignment where everything is flowing toward you. And this time, you won't have to beg, fight, or convince anyone. God is blessing you in such a way that people will look at you and say, "How did this happen?" And you'll simply smile, because you'll know, this was heaven's doing. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are chosen. And when God marks you, nothing can block what is meant for you. There are blessings that don't require your resume. There are checks that don't require your hustle. There is favor that overtakes effort. And right now, the skies above you are moving. The hand of God is authorizing your next season of abundance. An unexpected check is not just on the way. It's already in transit. It's been cleared. The funds are waiting. The timing is divine. You didn't imagine it. You weren't crazy for believing it. The dreams that kept you going when nothing made sense. They were blueprints of this moment. You saw glimpses because God wanted to prepare your faith. He didn't forget the seeds you've sown, your time, your kindness, your loyalty, your integrity when no one was watching. All of it was recorded. All of it mattered. And now, the reward is being released. Not because you earned it with perfection, but because you kept going with perseverance. The check is coming because you never gave up when it would have been easier to quit. This unexpected check is more than money. It's proof. It's proof that your story is not ordinary. It's evidence that what's on your life is not explainable by the world's standards. This check is going to cover what you've worried about, yes. But it's also going to remind you that you are divinely provided for. You are seen. You are chosen. You are supported by a source that is unlimited and always on time. Heaven doesn't operate on a clock. It operates on divine timing. And that time is now. The check might come through a name you don't recognize. It might come from an organization you never applied to. It might arrive in a way that feels random to others, but not to you. You'll know deep in your spirit that this is the moment you were sensing. That gut feeling you couldn't shake. This was it. That moment where everything finally aligns. You just stepped into it. This isn't just financial relief. It's a divine reset. The thing about unexpected blessings is that they can't be traced through normal logic. They bypass reason and land in your life by divine decision. People will assume you had some inside connection or that you were in the right place at the right time. But the truth is, God made the place for you. God timed it perfectly for you. No one else could receive what's coming, because it was always meant for you. And now that it's your season, nothing can delay what has been ordained. The financial stress, the uncertainty, The moments where you stretched your last dollar just to get through the week. It's all shifting now. You won't be living from check to check. You'll be living from check to overflow. This is the beginning of a new way of life. One where you trust more and worry less. One where your hands are open to receive instead of clenched in fear. You are no longer the version of you that settles. You are stepping into the version of you that expects miracles as a lifestyle. There's a calm coming over your life, and it's not just emotional, it's spiritual. That storm you've been in is breaking apart, not because of your strength, but because of divine intervention. You've waited, you've endured, you've stayed faithful. And now, the blessing has located you. The energy of overflow has found your coordinates. The mail is being rerouted in your favor. You will look at your account and be shocked, not because of what you did, but because of what heaven decided. This unexpected check carries more than value. It carries validation. It's a love note from God saying, I never left. I never forgot. I was working while you were waiting. And now it's your turn to smile again, to exhale, to believe again, to know that no matter what the world says, no matter what the past looked like, your future is saturated with grace. Let this be the moment you start expecting sudden blessings. The type that skip the process. The type that leave people asking how. The type that remind you who you are and whose you are. You are the chosen one. Not by accident, not by luck, but by divine purpose. And your inheritance includes overflow, not just enough. You're not supposed to scrape by. You're meant to walk in abundance. And this check is your down payment on the promise. Stay in a place of expectancy. Speak with faith. Think like it's already yours. Wake up with confidence. The door is open, and what's yours can no longer be withheld. You've passed the hidden tests. You've proven your faith. And now you get to receive. Get ready. Open your spirit. The divine delivery system is never late, and it's headed straight to you. This is only the beginning. And what's coming next will confirm that you've stepped into a season where God's hand is obvious, undeniable, and unstoppable. You're no longer in a waiting season. You've transitioned into a receiving season. And though the signs may not be visible to everyone else, you can feel it in your spirit. There's a shift happening inside you that's making room for something greater. Your soul knows that the days of scraping, surviving, and wondering how you'll make it are being replaced with peace, provision, and purpose. You've stepped into divine alignment, and when that happens, provision no longer follows logic. It follows obedience. It follows faith. It follows divine appointment. The check is not just about the money. It's about who you had to become to be ready for it. You had to unlearn fear. You had to reject the idea that you were meant to struggle. You had to break cycles of lack, both mentally and spiritually. You had to rise above opinions, rise above scarcity, rise above disbelief, because this level of blessing can't land in an atmosphere that doubts. You had to elevate your frequency, shift your inner conversations, and train your heart to expect miracles without guilt. You've reached the level where your harvest is being called out of the soil. The seeds you forgot you planted, the good deeds, the sacrifices, the moments you gave when you had very little, all of it was recorded by heaven. You might have forgotten, but the universe didn't. And now, that check is coming as a direct response to who you've been when no one was watching. God doesn't bless appearances. He blesses authenticity. And your heart has been pure in ways you didn't even recognize. Someone somewhere is being moved right now to release something that has your name on it. You don't even know their face. You've never crossed paths. But they are receiving a divine prompting, a quiet nudge that won't let them rest until they obey. This is the level of divine orchestration you've stepped into. You are no longer trying to figure out how it will come. You are trusting that it will, because your trust has become your currency, and your alignment is unlocking access. This is how miracles unfold. Not in loud, grand ways at first, but in subtle nudges, in quiet confirmations, in moments that feel oddly perfect. The email at the right time, the direct deposit you weren't expecting, the letter that looks ordinary on the outside, but is packed with provision inside. The blessing is coming wrapped in everyday packaging, but what's inside will change the rhythm of your life. It's going to pay off what's been haunting your thoughts. It's going to clear what's been weighing you down. And it's not just coming once. This check is an introduction to a cycle. Once God opens a financial gate, He doesn't close it unless you walk away. So don't return to doubt. Don't return to fear. Don't return to speaking against your own breakthrough. Stay in the vibration of abundance. Speak like someone who knows money is flowing to them. Think like someone who is no longer bound by the past. Move like someone who trusts their divine backup. This check isn't coming because of the economy. It's coming because of your covenant. It's not based on what's trending or what's common. It's based on what's been decided in the heavens. You are not limited to what others can do for you. You are resourced by an unlimited source. A check from heaven means no middleman, no delay, and no denial. What's coming to you has been processed through grace, sealed by favor, and delivered through faith. Don't be surprised if this check comes at a moment you least expect. That's the nature of divine surprises. They show up just when you think things are slowing down, just when it feels like nothing is moving. That's when the shift hits. That's when the email arrives. That's when the alert lights up your phone. That's when your whole season pivots. And it won't be small. It will be big enough to shift your language. Big enough to silence your doubts. Big enough to make you cry tears of relief. You're going to feel the weight lifting, not just financially, but spiritually. Because this check isn't only clearing bills, it's clearing internal fog. You'll feel your mind reset. You'll feel joy return. You'll feel clarity about decisions that once felt heavy. When money flows from divine provision, it doesn't just land in your account. It lands in your soul, and it shifts how you feel, how you move, how you see yourself. That's what's happening now. A total internal reset through external evidence. This check is about to restore what you lost in past seasons. Not just the money you spent, but the energy you gave, the sleep you lost, the tears you cried, the silent battles you faced. All of that is being factored into what's coming. Heaven repays in full. When you trust God through a wilderness season, the harvest is never partial. It's pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You will not just receive a check. You will receive compensation for your journey. Some people will try to downplay what's happening in your life. They'll say it's coincidence. They'll call it luck. But you will know better. You'll know this was orchestrated. You'll know this was too perfect, too timely, too personalized to be random. This is how God moves. Precise, strategic, and always with intention. So don't waste energy trying to explain your blessing. Just receive it, celebrate it, honor it, and let it elevate your faith even more. Get ready for unexpected deposits. Get ready for financial overflow that doesn't make sense on paper. Get ready for accounts to grow and balances to shift. Get ready for favor in places you've never been. God is moving through systems, institutions, and people you've never met. And they are all being aligned to respond to one command: bless my chosen one. And because God said it, they must respond. This check is going to come with clarity. It's going to fund your vision. It's going to restore your energy. It's going to release you from fear. When you open that envelope or receive that notification, it's going to feel like the weight of the world is being lifted from your shoulders. That's not just a payment. That's deliverance. That's breakthrough. That's heaven saying, you made it. Don't minimize what's about to happen. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Stand in your worth. Embrace the blessing. Let this be your confirmation. You are on the divine payroll now. And this check is just the first of many. You won't need to explain your glow. You won't need to justify your overflow. The fruits will speak for themselves. People will ask what changed. And you'll smile, knowing it wasn't just a change in circumstances, it was a change in season. It was a divine switch that flipped in your favor. And now, the favor won't stop. You are in overflow now, the kind of overflow that pours into every area of your life. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. The check is just a starting point. What's coming next will be even greater. You're not entering a moment. You're entering a movement, a divine flow, and it's only going to get better from here. This check is not just provision. It is prophecy fulfilled. You may not realize it yet, but something you spoke in faith a long time ago is returning to you now in the form of a manifested blessing. There were moments when you whispered to the universe, just one breakthrough would change everything. There were nights where you cried into your pillow, praying for a release, for a rescue, for even just one sign that things were shifting. And now, you are standing in the echo of those prayers. This check is the physical manifestation of what your soul called in. It's easy to underestimate the power of a small act of belief. But your belief was never small. It was mighty. Even when you doubted on the surface, your spirit kept the flame alive. You didn't know how it would unfold, but deep down, you trusted that something had to give, that life couldn't stay this hard forever, that all your good energy, your pure intentions, your resilience had to count for something. And it did. The divine ledger has been balanced, and now you're receiving. This is why you had to be patient. This is why things didn't come sooner. Because if it had arrived before now, you might have settled. You might have doubted whether it was really for you. But now, you've been refined by fire. You've been made ready. Your hands are steady, your heart is open, and your vision is clear. You're not going to waste what's coming. You're going to multiply it. Because this isn't just about survival anymore. It's about dominion. It's about stepping into the fullness of what's yours without hesitation or apology. There are people who will suddenly reappear when this check lands. People who once doubted you. People who couldn't see your value. People who thought your silence was surrender, not strategy. They're going to come around because now they see the fruit. But don't be distracted. Stay focused. This blessing is for you, not for validation. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your abundance is not a performance. It is a promise. The energy around you has shifted permanently. There is an open portal above your life now, a channel of constant provision. You're not in a temporary good moment. You're in a divine pattern now. The flow will not stop. The river will not dry up. You've tapped into a source that knows no shortage. And this is only the introduction. The check that's coming is simply the universe's way of saying, let's begin. And from this moment on, there will be ripple effects. Suddenly, things that were stuck will start to move. Suddenly, people will remember your name. Suddenly, closed doors will swing open. Suddenly, long-held debts will be canceled. Suddenly, what you need will appear right on time. You've entered into the flow of suddenly. And this flow comes with its own rhythm. It's not chaotic. It's divine. It's not accidental. It's intentional. It's not luck, it's law. Spiritual law. Divine law. Manifested in real time. Do you know what else is coming with this check? Peace. Not just peace of mind, but peace in your body. You're going to sleep better. You're going to breathe easier. You're going to wake up feeling lighter. The tension in your shoulders will release. The tightness in your chest will soften. The constant worry loop in your brain will dissolve. Because money wasn't the root of your joy, but it was a thief of your calm. And now that burden is being lifted. You'll start to notice that your decisions come from a place of power now, not panic. You're not going to accept just anything anymore. You'll be able to choose, because the pressure is gone. You're not choosing based on fear of lack anymore. You're choosing based on alignment. This is the true wealth. Being able to say yes to what resonates, and no to what drains you. That's what this blessing makes possible. It's more than digits in an account. It's about freedom. You'll feel it in your relationships too. You're not as anxious. You're not as reactive. You're not trying to carry everyone anymore. You're finally centered. And people will notice the change. They'll ask what's different. They'll sense the peace before they hear the story. Because divine provision glows. It radiates. It announces itself, even when you say nothing. This check is not just showing up in your finances. It's showing up in your aura. Now is the time to dream again. That business idea you shelved because of money? Pick it back up. That project you paused because life got in the way? Resume it. That vision you had years ago that still lingers in your heart? It's not too late. The check is arriving not to replace your purpose, but to fund it, to activate it, to support the birthing of something new through you. The world needs what you carry, and now you have the resources to move. You don't need to second-guess yourself anymore. That season is over. You're not unworthy. You're not broken. You're not cursed. You are blessed. And not just blessed in theory, blessed in reality. Tangibly, clearly, boldly. The kind of blessing that can't be ignored. The kind that speaks louder than any doubt. The kind that shakes systems and rewrites narratives. The kind that causes people to whisper your name in awe. This is not an emotional high. This is a spiritual truth. This is not just motivational talk. This is prophetic alignment. This is what happens when someone dares to believe even when everything said not to. When someone holds the line even in the dark. When someone keeps showing up even when they have no idea how or why. The universe sees that. Heaven responds to that. And now you are reaping from that. The mail is moving. The code has been activated. The alert is coming. The energy is already in motion. If you could see the invisible network of divine coordination behind your life right now, you'd fall on your knees in awe. Because you'd see how many layers had to shift for this check to find you. How many invisible doors had to open. How many spiritual approvals had to be stamped. And it all happened because you were faithful. You don't need to know the full plan to receive the full blessing. Just take the next step. Keep your spirit open. Keep your heart expectant. Don't block the flow by doubting it. Don't speak against what's being sent. Agree with it. Align with it. Announce it. Act like it's already yours, because it is. It's just catching up to you in the physical. Your miracle is moving with speed. It's flying past delays. It's overriding resistance. It's crossing through realms and realities just to reach you. And the moment it touches your life, everything will feel lighter, brighter, bigger, because you'll know without a doubt, God is real and God is with you. This check is more than provision. It's confirmation. Confirmation that all your inner work mattered, that the transformation was not in vain, that the days of being overlooked are gone. You are no longer in the background. You are front and center in your destiny now, and nothing can stop what's already been released. You are not just receiving money. You are stepping into a shift in identity. This unexpected check isn't simply for your benefit. It's to remind you of who you are. You've been walking through this world with a heart full of gold and hands that were often empty. But now the order has reversed. Your spirit is still golden, still pure, still rich in love and light. But now your hands are catching up. They're no longer empty. They're being filled with abundance to match the energy you've always carried. This is why it took time. This is why the wait was long. Because what's coming had to be shaped specifically for you. The amount, the source, the timing. It all had to align. Not just for your bank account, but for your story. Because when you receive this check, it's not just money hitting your life. It's the final puzzle piece that makes sense of the whole journey. Everything that didn't work out suddenly makes sense. Every delay becomes a strategy. Every setback becomes preparation. Every no becomes a setup for this divine yes. You're going to notice something after this blessing comes in. People are going to treat you differently, but you won't even need them to. Because this check is going to activate something inside you that makes their opinion irrelevant. You won't be seeking outside approval. You'll already feel the inner affirmation. This is what happens when God blesses you directly. It removes the craving for outside validation. You know you're covered. You know you're chosen. You know you're worthy. And no one can take that from you now. And here's the truth. What's coming to you is too big to be hidden. Even if you tried to keep it quiet, the glow would speak. The shifts in your life would speak. The moves you start to make would speak. The elevation would announce itself. And that's okay. Because this is your reward season. You've been quiet long enough. You've been patient long enough. You've been humble long enough. Now it's time to be blessed loud enough for heaven and earth to hear it. This check is an introduction to a new level of living, the kind where your decisions are no longer made from stress, the kind where you give freely, travel often, create boldly, and move gracefully. You won't be budgeting your dreams anymore. You'll be funding them. You won't be shrinking your vision to fit your income. You'll be expanding your income to meet your divine vision. Because abundance is not just your birthright, it's your new normal. No more survival mentality. No more scarcity language. No more pretending to be okay when you're not. You don't have to fake it anymore. You don't have to push through burnout, or hide your exhaustion, or explain away your struggles. That season is over. You're stepping into divine ease. And ease is not laziness. It's alignment. It's knowing you're carried. It's knowing that provision finds you because you're chosen, not because you're hustling. That check is going to remove burdens that have silently weighed you down. Medical bills, student loans, debt collectors, legal fees, family pressure. All of it is about to meet divine cancellation. And when it's paid off, it's not just gone from your financial records. It's gone from your mind. You won't carry that stress into your sleep. You won't feel guilt over your dreams. You'll be light again, free again, open again. And don't be surprised if the check comes in multiples. One deposit after another. One approval after another. Because sometimes when God opens a door, He swings it wide. He doesn't just send a trickle, He releases a flood. And not because you begged, not because you earned it through perfection, but because He loves you too much to let you stay in lack any longer. You've proven your faith, and now you're about to walk in your favor. You'll begin to make plans you once thought were unrealistic. You'll start designing the life you truly want, not the one you settled for. You'll begin speaking a new language, one of power, one of prosperity, one of peace. And when people hear you talk, they'll feel the authority in your words. Not because you're boasting, but because you're walking in truth. A truth that you were born to rise. A truth that abundance was always part of your journey. Let yourself receive. That's the final lesson of this blessing. Let it in without guilt. Don't apologize for your breakthrough. Don't shrink when it arrives. Don't feel bad that it came to you. You've paid the price in faith. You've paid the price in perseverance. And now, the universe is delivering what was always yours. Don't resist it. Don't question it. Receive it fully. Celebrate it boldly. Share it generously. Let your life be the testimony. Because people will ask, how did it happen? And you'll be able to say, I stayed faithful. I stayed in alignment. I believed even when it didn't make sense. And they'll feel the power in your story. They'll feel the truth in your energy. And some of them will be inspired to believe again for themselves. That's the real blessing. Not just the check, but what the check represents. Hope, restoration, the return of joy, the rise of the chosen one. This is the moment you stop second-guessing your path. You were never cursed. You were never forgotten. You were just being prepared. The struggle didn't define you, it refined you. The pain didn't destroy you, it positioned you. The detours didn't disqualify you. They redirected you to something greater. And this check is proof that the delay was not denial. It was divine design. You don't need to hustle your way into blessings anymore. You're already in flow. You're already aligned. And that flow is strong, steady, and full of favor. Opportunities are being magnetized to you. Resources are circling your name. Divine connections are being stirred. Systems are being adjusted. People in high places are being moved to release what's yours. You don't need to know how. It's already been taken care of. You've just entered the realm of already done. Not pending, not waiting. Already done. The check is written. The blessing is processed. The answer is released. All that's left is for it to show up. And it will. And when it does, your whole being will recognize the signature on it. It's written in grace. It's stamped with love. And it's sealed by divine timing. This moment is not just about a breakthrough. It's about a divine rebirth. You're emerging as someone who no longer carries financial shame, no longer tolerates lack, no longer compromises your dreams. You are rising in power, rising in clarity, rising in provision. And this check is the sign that heaven agrees with your elevation. The doors are open. The floodgates are wide. The chosen one has been located, and the blessing is en route. Chosen one, what you are about to experience is more than just increase. It is transformation. This check, this blessing that's arriving unexpectedly, is going to flip everything you thought you understood about timing, about provision, and about your destiny. It will feel like the moment time catches up with the promises spoken over your life. And when it happens, don't be surprised if you're overcome with emotion, because you'll realize in that moment that the waiting was not wasted. It was preparation. You've endured so much in silence. While others doubted, while others excelled and passed you by, while doors closed and you had to keep knocking without answers, you didn't break. You didn't lose your hope completely. And even when it felt like you had nothing left to believe in, you still kept moving. You didn't quit, even though quitting would have been easier. And now, all that faith is turning into evidence. Your story is shifting from invisible belief to undeniable manifestation. Chosen one, listen closely, because something beyond the natural is happening in your life right now. You've entered a divine moment. This is not just a season. It is a spiritual dimension where provision is no longer attached to hustle, where blessings are no longer locked behind hard labor, and where divine supply flows not by effort, but by divine favor. You have arrived at a turning point where your days of striving are ending, and your days of receiving have begun. Something bigger than you, something heaven ordained, is stepping into your reality. You are being called into a new economy, one governed by grace, by favor, and by spiritual inheritance. The weight you've carried for so long, trying to make things work, trying to force open doors, trying to be strong when everything was crumbling, God saw it all. And now, the call over your life is simple but powerful. Rest and receive. The provision is already arranged. So if you've been searching for a sign, if you've been waiting for a word that will pull you from the heavy burdens of survival, this is it. Watch this message until the very end and feel the divine shift taking place in your soul. You're not here by accident. You are not hearing this by chance. There's a reason why this message found you today. God is speaking directly to you. Drop your warmest wishes and 99 in the comments. This is a powerful chapter of wishes coming true and energizing the universe with alignment. Your words, your vibration, and your expectations are unlocking supernatural provision now. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. From this moment on, you are being invited into a realm where God's provision is not something you work for. It's something you walk into. You don't have to force blessings anymore, chosen one. You're not required to burn yourself out to survive. God has seen your secret labor, your tears, your sacrifices, and now He is stepping in to remind you, you were never supposed to carry it alone. The systems of this world conditioned you to believe that your value was tied to how much you could do, how much you could produce, how exhausted you were at the end of the day. But heaven is now interrupting that narrative. Heaven is saying, enough. You've entered into the divine flow of provision without toil. There is a way of life, a divine reality, where supply meets you without you chasing it. You will not have to beg. You will not have to compromise. And you most certainly will not have to break yourself apart to live well. Provision will find you. Opportunities will magnetize to your soul. Resources will seek you out. You are stepping into a financial dimension that functions differently. This isn't about wages anymore. This is about favor. This isn't about job titles. It's about divine identity. You are not just another person in the crowd. You are a divine appointment walking this earth. And the wealth, the help, the support, the sustenance you need, it's been circulating around you, waiting for your spiritual yes. And now that you've said yes, now that your spirit is aligned, the floodgates are opening. The wealth of the universe, the treasures of heaven, and the support you thought would never come, it is now on the way to you. And not because you earned it, but because you are chosen for it. Let that sink in. You are chosen for this provision. You were not created to toil until your soul collapses. You were created to receive the divine portion God already laid aside for you before you were even born. There is an inheritance with your name on it. Not just spiritual riches, but real, tangible provision. The type that cancels debts, pays off mortgages, sends your children to school without loans, gives you time freedom, and builds generational security. You've tried everything your way. You've grinded and pushed and prayed and waited. And now God is stepping in to say, I'm going to provide for you in ways that will shut every doubter's mouth. You're going to receive resources from unexpected places. People you don't even know are going to bless you. Money that you forgot about is going to find you. Divine deposits are being made into your life's account. Don't be surprised when everything shifts and it looks like you're receiving too much without doing anything. That's what divine provision looks like. It looks like overflow that doesn't make sense. It looks like favor that outpaces your resume. It looks like open doors with your name already on them. The world may not understand how you're being blessed, but that's because the world didn't ordain your blessing. God did. And when God provides, it silences every voice that said you wouldn't make it. So prepare your heart to receive. Not just once, not just occasionally, but consistently. Provision is going to become your new normal. You will wake up every day covered, supplied, supported. Your pantry will not go empty. Your bank account will no longer cry for help. Your body will not be worn out from anxiety. You will rest and still see abundance. This new season in your life does not require more effort. It requires more trust. And you've been trained for this. Every struggle prepared you for this level of ease. Every breakdown was a training ground for this elevation. You're not lazy, you're aligned. And alignment with divine timing creates supernatural flow. You're going to find that the less you try to control everything, the more everything begins working in your favor. People are going to offer help without you asking. Doors are going to open while you're sleeping. Emails are going to land in your inbox offering more than you could imagine. And it's not a coincidence. It's not a fluke. It's the evidence of divine provision. You don't need to understand how it will all work. You just need to remain open and willing to receive. Don't shrink back. Don't reject the ease. Don't question the flow. You've worked long enough. You've labored long enough. Now, walk into your appointed grace. Walk into the season where work no longer controls your life, where effort no longer defines your worth, where you are valued simply because you exist. This is your divine inheritance, and no one can take it from you. Provision is coming without condition. Favor is coming without explanation. And blessings are coming without burnout. The divine supply chain has been activated, and you are at the center of it. God is not going to let you go back to the old way. You've seen too much, felt too much, evolved too much to return to survival mode. You've outgrown struggle. You've outgrown lack. Your spirit is no longer compatible with small living. Provision is your portion. Ease is your inheritance. Peace is your currency. And joy is the indicator that you are in the right place. If you feel guilt when things become easy, release it. That guilt came from the world, not from God. God is glorified when His children live in peace and overflow. You are not robbing anyone by receiving. You are reflecting heaven's goodness. You are the example of divine provision. The way you live, rest, and receive will become a testimony to others of what happens when someone lets go and lets God be their source. This is not about quitting your job. It's about understanding that your job is not your source. This is not about being passive. It's about being peaceful. There's a difference. Peaceful people move with clarity. They act when led. They don't panic. They prepare. And that's exactly what you're being trained for. This is the lifestyle of the chosen. Walking with trust, receiving with gratitude, and knowing that what is yours will not pass you by. You don't need to strive to earn what God already gave. The moment you stop chasing, everything starts arriving. And it's arriving now. Chosen one, something sacred is unfolding in the background of your life right now. While others may be scrambling and struggling to make ends meet, you are being drawn into an experience of divine stillness and supernatural favor. You are not being left behind. You are being lifted above. You are not being ignored. You are being protected from old systems that are collapsing. What looks like isolation is actually insulation. What feels like a pause is actually preparation. And what seems like nothing happening is actually heaven orchestrating the extraordinary on your behalf. You've got to let this truth anchor into your soul. You are not behind, and you are not alone. You are in divine timing, right on schedule with the abundance that's already been commanded to locate you. Don't let the outside noise convince you that you're unproductive because you're not overworking. In this season, your rest is your resistance, your peace is your weapon, and your trust is your proof of alignment. You are not lazy, you are in flow. The world teaches you to grind until you break. Heaven teaches you to rest until you rise. You have chosen the higher path, the one where you don't just survive, you flourish effortlessly. This is the season where miracles show up when you least expect them. Your rent paid without struggle. Your needs met without delay. Your desires fulfilled without explanation. It's not because you figured it all out. It's because you finally surrendered. And when a chosen one surrenders fully to divine supply, heaven goes to work. Angels are dispatched. Opportunities open, people are sent, and resources are magnetized to your energy. You have become a beacon for divine wealth, not just money, but peace, comfort, joy, and sustenance. You're walking proof that favor can accomplish more in a moment than hustle can in a lifetime. Let your mind grasp this. The provision that's coming to you doesn't need your old effort. It requires your new energy. The spiritual energy of trust, surrender, openness, and expectancy. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to make sense of how it'll happen. The truth is, you're no longer in the realm of reason. You're in the realm of revelation. Heaven is downloading a new financial blueprint into your life. You're not bound to labor-based provision anymore. You're not operating by paycheck-to-paycheck thinking anymore. You're being trained for kingdom abundance, where provision is perpetual and peace is constant. There will be days ahead where you'll witness things flow into your life with such ease, people around you will start asking questions. How are you doing this? Who's helping you? What's your secret? And you'll know in your spirit, it's not a who, it's a what. It's the flow of divine supply that follows the chosen one. You don't need to beg for attention or opportunities. You are the opportunity. Your presence alone opens doors. Your energy alone attracts miracles. God is using your life to show the world what happens when someone decides to trust divine provision above all else. Do not fear the quiet moments. Do not panic in the pauses. Those are not signs of lack. They are signals that provision is forming in silence. The wealth that's coming to you is not being created. It already exists. It's just being redirected into your life. Money already printed. Accounts already funded. Gifts already wrapped. Ideas already anointed. You're not chasing anything. It's already circling you. The more you rest in that knowing, the faster it shows up. This is not a delay. This is divine choreography. You're not late. You're perfectly aligned. There is a flow that begins when you give yourself permission to stop forcing everything. When you stop chasing money and start trusting that money is already assigned to you, your vibration changes. And when your vibration changes, everything around you responds. You begin to notice things are getting paid off without strain. You notice people offering you blessings without asking. You feel a peace you can't explain, and a knowing that you're being carried by something higher than hustle. That's God's provision in motion, and you're not imagining it. It's real. Provision is about more than just having enough. It's about living in overflow. And overflow isn't a luxury for others. It's your new baseline. No more scraping together coins. No more overdrafts. No more financial stress waking you up in the middle of the night. That era is over. You're stepping into financial rest. And with that rest comes revelation. The money was never the goal. Peace was. But now, God is giving you both. And here's what's wild. The more you trust in divine provision, the more creative ideas begin to download into you. You start seeing the world differently. You hear whispers of ideas that can generate wealth without struggle. You start writing, speaking, creating, and launching from a place of joy, not pressure. You become an open channel for abundance, not a clogged pipe of fear. And the more you follow that joy, the more things multiply. Your peace multiplies. Your influence multiplies. Your income multiplies. And you're not drained. You're delighted. You will look back on this season and realize it was never about giving up work. It was about releasing the pressure. The toxic kind of work. The soul-crushing kind of effort. The kind that steals your joy and ruins your body. That's the kind of work you'll never have to return to. Because now, you're aligned with your divine assignment. And your divine assignment comes with divine compensation. What used to take you years will now take weeks. What used to require 10 steps will now need only one. You're walking in heaven's acceleration. Your days of being financially afraid are over. Your days of settling for scraps are done. You are no longer chasing crumbs. You are dining at the table of provision. And this table never runs out. Every time you think you've reached the end of God's supply, more will appear. A phone call, a deposit, a check in the mail, a gift, an opportunity, a miracle. You'll know it when it happens, because it won't come from where you expected. It will come from heaven's secret channels. That's how you'll know it was never about your effort. It was about your alignment. You don't need to compete. You don't need to perform. You don't need to hustle for a seat at someone else's table. God has prepared a place for you. A place where you don't have to prove your worth. A place where you don't have to pretend you're okay. A place where you're allowed to rest, recover, and receive. That place is here, and it's within you. Provision is not a far-off thing. It's already coded into your reality. The moment you stopped striving, you stepped into supply, and it's only going to get better from here. Chosen one, you are not being asked to figure it all out. You're not being asked to plan every detail of how your provision will arrive. You're simply being asked to trust. You're being invited to believe, even when logic tells you it shouldn't work this way. Because divine provision doesn't need logic to operate. It only needs your agreement. It's already flowing to you through invisible streams, through people you've never met, through systems that are bending in your favor. Right now, even as you sit in stillness, the provision is organizing itself around your name. The universe has your address. Heaven knows your coordinates, and you will not be skipped. There is a shift in the spiritual atmosphere that is rewriting how your life functions. You're not just being provided for, you're being carried. You're not just being supported, you're being elevated. You are being cushioned by grace, supplied by faith, and held by unseen hands that will not let you fall. That uneasy feeling you once had about finances, that gnawing stress about bills, it's dissolving now. Your inner atmosphere is changing. Instead of scarcity, you're filled with certainty. Instead of anxiety, you feel assurance. That's not just your thoughts changing. That's your spiritual position being elevated. This is what happens when you are divinely reassigned. You're no longer required to run the race the world laid out for you. You're no longer bound to hustle-based rewards. You've been pulled out of the survival system and placed into a spiritual economy where the outcome doesn't depend on how hard you work. It depends on how aligned you are. And you are now aligned. You are aligned with rest. You are aligned with flow. You are aligned with enoughness. The provision is coming, not because you demanded it, but because it was already yours. God is not providing for you based on effort. He is providing for you based on identity. You are His. You are chosen. You are marked for abundance, and your spirit has now remembered that truth. When you come into remembrance of who you are, everything begins to respond. Your energy emits a frequency of royalty. Your presence radiates peace. Your spirit becomes magnetic to miracles. The money doesn't come because you begged. It comes because your soul is in union with divine overflow. You are entering into a level of divine ease that is going to confuse people around you. They will wonder how you're living so freely. They'll question why you're no longer burnt out, but you'll know why. Because you left the struggle behind. You dropped the belief that you had to earn your worth. And in doing so, you made room for the divine to take over. You chose peace. You chose trust. You chose to believe that it's possible for everything you need to come without sacrificing everything you love. This is not wishful thinking. It's spiritual reality. You're about to experience supernatural supply that bypasses everything traditional. You're going to receive more rest and more wealth at the same time. You're going to find that the less you stress, the more things align. The less you push, the more doors open. The less you chase, the more is attracted to you. This is the rhythm of the divine economy, and you are now fully synced with it. The world taught you that rest was dangerous, that if you rested, you'd fall behind. But heaven is teaching you now that rest is not a setback, it's a strategy. You're not behind, you're not losing, you're not disconnected. You're ahead of your old self. You're finally tuned into the truth of divine supply. And that truth will not fail you. That truth will continue to pull more and more into your life until you don't even recognize the old version of yourself that used to worry. Provision will become so normal to you, it won't shock you anymore. It will sustain you. Unexpected deposits, overflowing accounts, free gifts, canceled debts, opportunities without labor. You'll begin to smile every time it happens, not out of surprise, but out of gratitude. Because you know the source. You know that it's not random. You know that this is your portion. This is your divine right. And it can't be blocked, stopped, or stolen. Even in moments where it looks like nothing is happening, Something is always moving in your favor. The spiritual world doesn't rest. Angels don't clock out. Blessings don't run dry. You are now a recipient of a continual stream of divine provision. You will wake up to good news. You will receive messages that bless you. You will hear from people who want to support you. This is what happens when you step out of striving and into surrender. This is the life that has been prepared for you from the beginning. Do not question it. Do not fight it. Do not sabotage it. Let yourself receive. Let yourself be loved. Let yourself be taken care of by the divine. Let yourself live differently from the world. You don't need to match their pace. You're on a path that few understand, but many will admire. Because when they see the favor on your life, they'll begin to ask how they can access that peace. And your life will be the answer. Your peace will be the proof. Your rest will be the revelation. You're not just entering into a new season. You're becoming a new creation. A creation that doesn't panic, doesn't chase, doesn't force, but flows. That's who you are now. You're no longer burdened. You're no longer bound. You're no longer trapped in systems that are built on fear. You are now plugged into a higher system. And in this system, there is no burnout. Only breakthrough. No pressure. Only peace. No debts. Only deposits. And the more you embrace this, the more will come. This is not the end. It's the activation. You've been prepared for this moment. And now, the rest of your life is being rewritten. Your finances, your health, your relationships, your schedule, everything is shifting into divine order. You are being surrounded by solutions, covered by grace, guarded by angels, held by God. There is nothing you need to do to make this happen. Just stay in this energy. Stay in this knowing. Stay in this peace. It's all working for you now. The provision is permanent, and the flow is just getting started. Chosen one, you're being upgraded in every sense. Your mindset, your frequency, your standards, and most importantly, your relationship with provision. For so long, you were taught to associate wealth and supply with effort. But now, you're being taught by the divine to associate it with alignment. You are not receiving because you're hustling. You are receiving because you've become available. Your energy is available, your mind is available, your spirit is available. And because of that, the universe is pouring resources into your atmosphere that you once thought were unreachable. You are walking into a season where help will appear out of nowhere. You'll see people step forward with exactly what you need. There will be no explanation, only confirmation. Divine assistance will be visible. Unexpected cash. Business ideas that feel like lightning bolts. Property being offered to you. Gifts that look too good to be true. But they're not. Because they're not random. They're reserved. For you. These things have been hidden in plain sight, waiting for your spirit to enter this frequency of receptivity. And now, that time has come. The divine did not forget you. The timing wasn't delayed, it was being perfected. You had to be spiritually mature enough to carry this blessing without feeling guilty. You had to be awakened enough to receive without self-sabotage. And now you are. You're no longer wondering if you deserve it. You're no longer playing small. You're no longer making yourself uncomfortable just to make others comfortable. That part of you is gone. What's rising now is your divine self. The version of you that remembers how loved, supported, and surrounded you truly are. This is more than provision. This is divine restoration. All the time you spent worrying, all the years you worked without harvest, all the moments you cried alone, hoping things would change, it's all being redeemed. The tables are turning now, not by chance, but by choice. Because you've chosen to believe in a reality where miracles are normal, where being provided for is not rare, it's expected. You've shifted into the miraculous, and miracles will now respond to your energy like metal to a magnet. Don't be surprised when financial freedom starts to find you in ways that defy human logic. The numbers won't always make sense. The timing won't be predictable. but the results will be undeniable. That's how you'll know it's not from this world, it's from heaven. And heaven is not rationing your blessings. Heaven is releasing them. You've suffered enough. You've toiled enough. You've learned the lessons. And now comes the reward. The reward of ease. The reward of wealth. The reward of overflow. You don't owe the world an explanation for your blessing. You don't have to justify how God is choosing to favor you. You don't have to apologize for the ease you're stepping into. People might project. They might misunderstand. But that's okay. This blessing wasn't for them to understand. It was for you to experience. Because you were there in the darkness. You were there when no one saw your pain. You were there through the silent seasons. And now, you are here in the spotlight of divine provision. Let yourself enjoy it. Let yourself be surprised. Let yourself wake up in awe at how good life is becoming. You are no longer living from emergency to emergency. You are living from overflow to overflow. The problems that used to terrify you will become things you solve with grace. You'll realize the only thing that changed was your belief. Your decision to no longer live under the law of pressure, but under the power of providence. And that decision is changing your life faster than any amount of labor ever could. There is no shame in being supported by the divine. There is no guilt in receiving from God. You are not stealing from anyone by being blessed. You are not taking someone else's portion. The truth is, there's more than enough for everyone. And you are finally receiving what was always meant for you. You're not receiving a handout. You're receiving a heavenly inheritance. An inheritance that was prepared for you before you ever struggled, before you ever cried, before you ever knew what lack was. That's why this provision feels so surreal. It's not just money. It's not just material. It's healing. Healing for every moment you felt alone. Healing for every time you went to sleep worried. Healing for the version of you that was always in survival mode. That version of you is being laid to rest. And the divine version of you is rising up, empowered, favored, and fully funded. Yes, fully funded by God. Fully supported by unseen systems. And fully aligned with what is good, true, and beautiful. The fear of not having enough is leaving your body. The anxiety of being unsupported is being replaced with the knowing that you are guided. You're not just walking through life, you are being walked through life, carried, elevated, honored. And the provision that's on the way will be so abundant, you'll never think about hustling again. You'll begin to build your life around peace, around passion, around joy. No longer around bills, stress, or deadlines. Your calendar will be filled with moments of rest, moments of beauty, and moments of miraculous surprises. You will be provided for in ways that seem tailor-made, because they are. The money you need, covered. The support you need, delivered. The direction you need, revealed. Your needs have been known in the spirit far longer than you've spoken them. And now the time has come for manifestation. You will witness supply rush into your life in such a way that your only response will be tears of gratitude. And those tears won't be from pain. They'll be from the sudden realization that you are truly, deeply, finally cared for. Not by the systems of man, not by institutions, but by the source of everything. The divine current of love is now your bank. The currency of heaven is now your paycheck. And you won't have to punch a clock to receive it, because it's not earned by time, it's aligned through truth. And your truth is this: you are meant to live provided for, protected, and peaceful. You will look around your life soon and be in awe. The clutter will be gone. The chaos will be quiet. The tension will be replaced with tranquility. And the most amazing part? You won't even know how it all changed so fast. But you will know who changed it. You'll know that heaven stepped in and rewrote your story. That your name was whispered in places you've never been. that your need was answered before it was even spoken, that the doors you've been knocking on are now opening on their own. This is not fantasy. This is faith in motion, and your life is the living evidence. Chosen one, there's something you need to understand now more than ever. Your provision is not conditional. It's not dependent on who likes you. It's not tied to your resume. It's not based on your qualifications or your performance. It's based on your position in the Spirit. And right now, your position is one of divine alignment. You are standing in the current of unlimited supply, and there is no force powerful enough to dam the flow that's headed your way. Not even your doubts, not even your fears, not even your past mistakes. None of that can interrupt what God is releasing over you now. You've already crossed over. Even if you don't see it yet with your natural eyes, your spirit has already arrived. You've moved out of the land of striving and into the realm of receiving. The old you, the one who used to feel guilty about not working enough, not doing enough, not achieving enough, that version has served its purpose. You needed that version to survive. But now, you're being called to thrive.